Okay, hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm actually starting a new series, which is going to be called Should You Buy, and then the name of the game for the price of it on a site like Kinguin or G2A, maybe even a Steam sale, I don't know. I wanted to make this series because there's a lot of games on sites like Kinguin for 15, 20, 25 bucks, and I just wanted to give my opinion on a lot of these games. So, people could make a decent choice. Today we're actually talking about Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, I do want you to know that these videos are unscripted. I'm just giving my opinion, whatever pops into my head, what's interesting, I will mention. I wanted to make a video on this game for a long time, and I never knew how to do it. I wrote a script for it once, I tried it unscripted once, and I never really got it right. Microphone audio didn't sound right. I couldn't get proper, good running gameplay. Ubisoft optimization. But I finally could get the gameplay properly, and I got my mic quality up a bit. So, Assassin's Creed Origins. They took a 2-year break of the Assassin's Creed series, and they decided to make something new. And they did. And they did really well. Instead of doing the whole Assassin's Creed Unity Syndicate, or maybe even 4 thing again, they decided to make something new, a little bit more to the RPG side of things. Still, it's definitely not a full-fledged RPG, but it's more leaning towards that side now. They include a lot of fun missions. The side missions are very fun, and they're a good way to level up, to get ready for the main missions. There's tons of different loot. You can upgrade your items. The story is interesting, the characters are well written and well voice acted. And of course you have little things, like you're able to climb any wall that you find. You can just climb up it. Your character will grab onto little ledges and things and stuff here, which weren't actually placed on purpose. It's a dynamic climbing system, which is very well done. Things like sneaking around are definitely still in the game. They completely redid combat, basically, but it's still definitely, you still have that core Assassin's Creed gameplay where you're sneaking around a big enemy hideout and you try to go up behind people and jump on top of people to kill them. And it's really fun, and you'll see it, you'll possibly see it in the gameplay in the background as well. But as I said, they completely revamped combat, and they mostly changed the more aggressive part of the combat. So when enemies have noticed you and you attack them and they attack you, they change that part a lot. In this game you have things like shields or multiple melee weapons in your hands, and you can block and parry with these. They completely changed like things like animations and stuff. There's a lot more variety in the combat, and it's very well done. It's very well done. The graphics are always good in these new like AAA Ubisoft titles, even though I know this game released like a year ago, but it's not a lot of people play it from what I've seen, so it's a really good game. It's really fun. The graphics, as I said, are amazing. The gameplay in the background is not running HDR because I forgot to turn that on. Yay. But it is running on high settings just to make sure that there's no lagging or stuttering or anything in the gameplay in the background. You still have little bugs, like the head of your mount going through the wall, and the little things that they probably should have noticed, like when you're on your mount, that your clothing can go through the saddle, which is, well, what? Like, come on, that's the first thing you notice. You test the game, you get on a mount, you drive, well, do you drive a mount? Whatever, you go around with your mount and you see that his clothing is clipping through the mount, which is something they definitely should have noticed and changed. The game world is very detailed. Textures look nice, but it's also just cities are. You have Alexandria, for example, which actually isn't in the gameplay, but it's a very big and very detailed city, which basically means that you could have probably like 2 Titan Vs and you would still get 30 FPS max if you're running on Ultra 4K. But yeah, the graphics are very, very nice, and they're definitely an improvement over the last few games. What's there more to say about this game? Well, the missions are fun. Graphics are really good. They kind of look a little foggy at times, a little not very sharp. Sometimes textures are a little muddy, but overall they're pretty damn good. The missions, as I said, are very fun, including the side missions. There are things you can find around the map which will lead you to missions. In this game you have your bird Senu, which is a very well done mechanic, actually. Instead of having some stupid mode which just marks enemies for you, you have your bird, which I'll actually have a little clip pasted in here of where it's on your character's arm. It can, if you stand still for long enough, it'll get on your arm. But it's your bird, which will fly around, and it's used in missions to sometimes find key objectives, or you can use it when going into an enemy base to seek out enemies and things like that. Also, a thing about the melee combat is now you can hold 2 melee weapons. You have a sword, you have a torch, which it's very fun to put things on fire, which is also something I'll talk about in a second. You have 2 bows, and you have things like sleeping darts, or there are like fire bombs, I think, as well. I haven't finished this game yet. There's actually a lot of content in it, so it takes a long time to play through. But the sleeping darts are very useful. The fire in this game, which is one of the little things again, is if you throw your torch on something like dry hay or wood or just like, let's say, a boat covered in oil, it'll go on fire and the fire will spread, and if there's any surface that can light on fire, it will light that on fire as well, which is very interesting to see. Yeah, there's not a lot more to say about this game. So I'm gonna, let's see, right now I'm going to check the price. We are going to go onto Kinguin and we're gonna see how much this game costs. So, oh my god. So, Assassin's Creed Origins is on Kinguin for... Sorry, what? Give it a second. It is on... there's an EU Uplay CD key for 31 euros. Origin, there's an Xbox One key for 26 euros. So I'd say around $30. Is this game worth $30? It's definitely worth $30 or euros. There's barely a difference. Yeah, it's definitely worth that. It's a very well done AAA game. It just hasn't really... It wasn't a huge explosion of like everybody playing it and everybody getting hyped about it and everybody talking about it. But it's a very, very well done AAA Assassin's Creed game. And some people didn't like it. Some people didn't like it because of the changes that they did to the series, but I think they're very welcome changes because we've had this series exactly the same for ages now. So yeah, they're very fun. It's a good game. In general, it's a very good game, and I definitely recommend you to buy it for $30. Also, this is probably one of the most hectic reviews you'll ever see, with all kinds of shit thrown around. But again, as I said in the beginning, this is unscripted, so I just say whatever I think about the game. Anything that pops into my head, I'll say, and that's my review of it. If you should buy it for $30, and I think you should. So go buy it. This was the video. Bye.